Hello and welcome. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Rose Smith and I'm here with your weekly pick a card. Now, if you haven't done this before, it's very simple. You just pick a number between 1 and 5 and I will do a psychic interpretation for you. I do use these cards, but I go more on psychically what I get, okay? So don't get caught up about card meanings and things like that, because I'm probably not going to go that way. I use the cards because it's YouTube and it's something more interesting for you to look at rather than looking at me. Okay, so first thing we want to do is get into the zone to find out what number we should pick. So let's everybody just close our eyes and just imagine that every breath is taking you deeper and deeper down into your subconscious. And just go with the flow of your breath and allow everything to, fall away from the daily troubles and dramas that may happen. And we're having a chook fight outside the window, which is always good. Okay, so just allowing all the toils and troubles of the day to fade away and letting every breath take you deeper and deeper down into peace. And as you go down, imagine now there's a blackboard in front of you and somebody that you look up to, an authority figure, appears and comes and writes a number on the blackboard, a number between 1 and 5. Take note of that number and allow that number to form in your mind strongly so that you remember it. Now, becoming aware of your breath again, feeling really comfortable. Come back to your seated position where you were when we started, and we're about to start. Okay, so a number between 1 and 5. Let's start with number 1. Okay, number 1. And we're looking for the week commencing 1st of July 2019. Number 1. Okay, looking for a card, and we come up with the World card. This is a beautiful card, and you'll see that this card shows it's a woman who's wrapped in gold and she's got 1 foot on the earth. Now, 1 foot on the earth means that she's grounded in practical reality. So this week is not about being airy-fairy. This is about being grounded and really, bringing spiritual energy, mental energy, emotional energy, all to the physical plane. So it's like the world's your oyster. You can achieve what you want to achieve this week and get things done. And those things are come from your spirit, are run through your heart into your hands so that you can actually do physical things. It's a beautiful card, and you'll see she actually also has angels. She has an angel holding up the gold fabric. See that angel in the corner there? And an eagle on the other corner. Okay, so flying high, power, strength, spiritual ability coming through, grounded in practical reality, and she has it's like a wand in her other hand, or a scepter even. A scepter is like the symbol of one of the symbols of royalty. Okay, so, and gold, something very precious that adorns her, something very valuable because she can make it real this week. Okay, so well done you if you've picked number 1. Okay, terrific. Alrighty, let's go with card number 2. If you've picked number 2 for the week commencing 1st of July 2019, card number 2. Card number 2. And we come out with the 7 of Swords. Okay, 7 of Swords. All right, now you can see here she's carrying the swords, and they are also, 2 of them are actually planted into the ground. So that is about being grounded. Swords, people sometimes see swords as quite a, you know, a negative type energy, but it's not really. Swords are indicative of mental energy. It's all about thinking. So there could be some sort of sacrifice involved this week. And you can see there's some tents in the background. Could be to do with travelling. And psychically, let me just have a look on 7 of Swords. Swords sometimes, you know, at different numbers, you know, and we've had the 10 of Swords come out a lot over the last month or two. That's about being stabbed in the back, but this is not. Could be a sacrificial energy, could be, you know, moving away from a situation where there's been some sort of betrayal, and it's more about the spiritual sacrifice. Do be careful that you don't overthink things, that you go round and round in circles, you know, with racing thoughts, and it disturbs your sleep and that sort of thing. So you'll see she's wearing yellow. Yellow is actually quite a happy colour. So this is not really, you know, as negative a card as what some people may think. She's moving forward, she's moving away, and she's moving towards happiness. Okay, there we go, number 2. Let's go for number 3 now. Having a look at number 3, card 3, for the month 1st of July 2019, card number 3. Card number 3, see what we come up with. It's the beginning of a whole new era this month. And we're coming up with the 2 of Swords. Swords has been such a thing lately that's been coming up. Now, 2 of Swords. You see in the background there's like 2 reflections that I can see there, and the reflection is often things in spirit or things from the past that are not physically real. It's like when a stone is thrown on a pond and you get the harmonics that go out, the ripples that go out from the event. And so something in the past or in spirit is sort of hanging over her. This could be to do with finances. Sometimes this card indicates that you need to be cautious with your finances. Could be some disappointment, you know, be careful with your money. Could also be to do with relationships, a disappointment in a relationship recently. But not a bad thing, again, because you can release the past. This is what this is pointing to. Those reflections in the background, they don't need to be there anymore, you know. So when you're looking inside yourself and you're coming up with those memories or those feelings of the past, you can say to yourself, that's the past, or that's in spirit, doesn't need to be on the physical level, okay? So it's kind of a good card in that way because it can point you to a direction, a certain direction, and again, you can move forward when you're ready, okay? So you can see the 2 swords there on either side and of her, and again, swords are about thinking about things, cutting through all the rubbish that goes on in our heads basically, and figuring it out logically. It's not a bad thing. It only becomes a bad thing when we overthink it, okay, as Westerners do tend to do sometimes. You know, thinking's great. When you're dealing with money, you want to be able to think straight, but you know, we don't want to think so much that it's actually affecting our well-being and we feel unhappy or uncertain because our thoughts won't shut up when they're supposed to shut up, okay? I'm like that sometimes myself. Alrighty, so let's go to card number 4. Card number 4 for the week commencing 1st of July 2019. Looking for the energy of card number 4. Now, before I even pick the card, I can see here somebody cooking, and it's like simple kinds of things like toasted sandwiches, or it's not cordon bleu or anything like that. And so I can see what's happening is somebody's nurturing somebody else or nurturing themselves. Okay, so all about nurturance. But let's see what comes out in the cards as well. Sometimes I get 2 messages. So we'll look in the cards for number 4 for the week commencing 1st of July 2019. Number 4. Okay, and we come up with the Page of Swords this week. Okay, so the Page of Swords is all about messages. So there's a heavy focus on thinking this week, and these are messages that come through your thoughts, through your mental abilities. Okay, you could have good news. There's birds in the background. Your thoughts can lead you to freedom. Okay, how to fly high, ways to get out of a situation where you might be feeling stuck, somewhere where you haven't been able to move recently, and then all of a sudden there's some good news that can come through the Page of Swords, where your thoughts can take flight. And what happens is, with the different realms of energy, thoughts come after the spiritual inclination to do something. So you'll start to pick up the subtle vibrations of spirit telling you something, and then your thoughts will kick in. Now, I know a lot of people say that thoughts come first, but that's not necessarily so, because there's certain times in your life where you may have feelings but you have no thought. So it makes it hard to figure out. So I don't really subscribe to the idea that thoughts come before anything. Spirit comes first, then the thoughts, then the emotions, and then the physicality, because that's the way the density of energy works. And the last thing to usually happens will be the actual physical consequence of what spirit, who directs everything basically, and then we can use our thoughts to slightly change things. There's such a thing as like destiny or karma. We put in the broader brush strokes of life before we even get here, but we still have ability to respond to situations and to put in the colours of our life and the finer brushstrokes of our life. So we still are the architects of our own life. So I'm not one of those people that thinks that, it was all predestined and I've got no control over my life. No, that's not how it works. So open your mind. If you disagree, that's fine. That's been my experience though, however. And the experience, I've read for literally many thousands of people over the decades. So through using your thoughts, you can change your reality, and there's some good news this week in your thoughts. Okay, number 4. And let's go to number 5. And closing my... Okay, great. So I see a wedding. I see the bride with flowers in hand walking down the aisle. And it's not like a modern wedding. It's more like a wedding back in the early 1900s. She's got a wreath of flowers on her head, and she doesn't have like the traditional white wedding dress that we're used to seeing. She's wearing like a 1910, 1915 type dress, and a very simple dress. And out there in the garden, having a garden wedding. Okay, so what this indicates to me is the energies coming together so that you can integrate these energies into yourself, so you've got more power. It's actually a beautiful vision that I can see. And it's about coming together with another energy within. Now, this might play out on the physical plane as well. You could have... somebody, some people could get married, sure. But more likely is that you meet somebody or something you've been looking forward to actually comes together and you finally have power in that situation. Okay, so let's go for card number 5 in the week commencing 1st of July 2019. Okay, and see what we come out with. And it's the King of Wands. Okay, King of Wands this week. Now you see, Wands is a very fiery energy, and you'll see that red in the background. It's all about feeling motivated. It's kind of that Mars motivation, you know, goal-oriented, achievement, wanting to get out there and get stuff done. It's not so much about the action side of things. It's more about the feeling, the inspiration of that energy. And there's a great happiness with that. You can see those 2 sunflowers in the background there, up the top there. Okay, indicating happiness. He's on his throne. He's the king of all he surveys. Now, this is a masculine energy. If you're a woman, you have a masculine energy inside you that you need to bring out more into your life, okay? So this is about you feeling inspired to do something in a masculine way. The action will come later. But this week, all about getting ready and feeling the feeling. Sometimes, if you're particularly sensitive, it can feel like a burning, the burning of ambition or the burning of desire or the burning of inspiration in your own heart, in your chest, your heart chakra. So if you're particularly sensitive or got any clairsentient ability, you might actually feel it physically. It can also be the violet flame in the heart chakra, and sometimes I find myself, I've had that for maybe, I don't know, 25, 30 years, that I could feel it, and sometimes it becomes very uncomfortable. So you have to kind of tune out and get your mind on something else and start thinking logically, and kind of when it becomes too much, okay, because it can be so intense. Okay, so they're all great cards though. So I'd like to wish you a very happy week, and thanks so much for tuning in. Please give this live stream a like, or subscribe to my channel. I'm on here 8 a.m. Sydney time every Monday, and I'll be doing Facebook next. If you wanted to see me live on Facebook, go to Absolute Soul Secrets. I'm across our primary social media is YouTube, Facebook and Twitter, if you're looking to find me. But have a beautiful week, and thanks again. Okay, bye for now.